Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
Rodney Cates, Director of Rockingham County Emergency Services, is on the line. Hey, Rodney, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing just great. Let's start by just giving us kind of an overview of emergency services in Rockingham County. What does that encompass, Rodney?
Emergency services in Rockingham County encompasses the 911 operation. We have 28 telecommunicators that run our 911 center. They're obviously here 24/7, 365. We are a consolidated 911 center. That means that all 911 calls within Rockingham County do come directly to one location, and all resources in Rockingham County are dispatched from one location, which is our 911 center, our consolidated 911 center here in Rockingham County. From that, we have EMS, Emergency Medical Services. That comprises about 100 employees, which make up part-time and full-time employees. It's about 100 people. We run 8 trucks a day to serve the citizens of Rockingham County with their emergency medical needs. It also encompasses the Fire Marshal's office. The Fire Marshal's office currently is comprised of 3 people. There is a vacancy there now in our Fire Marshal, but we have our 2 assistant Fire Marshals, and we have Jay Brooks, who is an assistant Fire Marshal as well as our emergency management coordinator, and he also assists in the Fire Marshal office. Mm-hmm. But they are responsible for code inspections. They come out and check businesses, churches, all different types of businesses for fire code to make sure that they're compliant. And the reason for that and the importance of that is to reduce the risk of any type of fire to the occupants of those businesses, but also to reduce those risks for responders that may have to go there for our volunteer fire departments. And lastly, emergency management or emergency services consist of the emergency management division, which is Jay Brooks. Jay Brooks is our emergency management coordinator. Jay works with the state on emergency management requests, things that the state needs. We have many assets here in the county that are state deployable. We have trailers and generators and personnel that can be state deployed should the state need it for a hurricane or some large event that they may have elsewhere. He coordinates with FEMA funding, grants. That's a very entailed job that Jay oversees the operation of emergency management.
I'm taking notes, Rodney, and just getting some things down here. There's a lot going on under emergency services with serving Rockingham County, isn't there?
It is. Really everything that goes on to some degree, emergency services has a role in it. We talk about the team aspect, and we certainly are a team. We're a team with all of the volunteer fire departments. We're a team that is also comprised of the 3 rescue agencies within the county, the 6 law enforcement agencies that are in the county, as well as the Highway Patrol, obviously, who's the state agency. We also work with the SBI, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. So the school systems, when there's bad weather and we have to look at roadways, and we try to assist them in making those decisions. So, yes, emergency management and emergency services ties into every entity and every event that goes on countywide.
Wow, it really does. And thank you and your team for being there for us. I want to go back to 911 and that consolidated system, because we really haven't had that all together for that long a time, have we? But what a plus that is for Rockingham County citizens.
It is, and it really streamlines resource requests. If someone calls a consolidated 911 system, and they're referred to as PSAPs, or PSAPS, which is the Public Safety Access Point. And that means that a citizen calls one point to access public safety. You don't have to be transferred if a caller needs a sheriff's deputy. If the sheriff's department, for some reason, were not consolidated, and there are counties that don't have consolidated systems, if that person dials 911 and they need that resource that's not consolidated, then that caller then has to be transferred to the entity that they want that is not consolidated, which slows the response efforts for that citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So having a consolidated center increases the efficiency. From a county perspective and a municipal perspective, it's much less expensive because we're only maintaining one 911 center throughout the county as opposed to 4 that may be maintained throughout the county through municipalities or other entities. So
yeah,
it's a much more efficient, much more cost-effective way to do business.
It certainly is. Well, I've been here in the county about 50 years, and I remember the old days, and this is certainly great to have this consolidated system. And just piggybacking on something you said a minute ago, how many counties in North Carolina have a consolidated system?
I don't know the actual number of true consolidated centers. There are about 117 public safety access points throughout the state of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And again, all of them are not totally consolidated. Some will have, if county fire wants to be on their own, there's some counties that allow that, and they allow those calls to be transferred to a different location to dispatch. County fire or a sheriff's department or a police department may not want to be consolidated for whatever reason. So people that are counties that are truly consolidated, I don't know the actual number.
Okay.
That would be.
Yeah, but Rockingham County is, for sure. We know that. Yeah.
Yes, we are a truly consolidated 911 center.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about EMS a moment, because we see the EMS, we see the ambulances out there all the time, and it kind of reminds me too of your whole department, because there's so much training and education that has to go into getting in all of these positions, isn't it? I think people, they call EMS or call 911, and they don't realize the people that are behind this that are so skilled in this area.
And that's exactly right. The basic paramedic certification is 1,096 hours.
Wow.
And then there are updates. There are continuing education classes. We do those monthly. Some months we do online trainings, and we rotate it every other month. One month we'll do online. The second month we do in-person, hands-on training. The 911 center is the same way. Our 911 telecommunicators are certified in emergency dispatch protocols. Those certifications come from the International Academy of Emergency Dispatch. So everything we do is certified. The process is certified. The people are certified to run the processes. CPR certifications, our 911 telecommunicators have to be certified in CPR so that they understand and know how to give those CPR instructions that are being prompted from an emergency dispatch protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So it does all tie in together, and it is a ton of certifications. If you look at it from the totality of emergency services, there are certifications, they're quite numerous throughout the agency.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We hear about Code Red, and I'm hoping that everyone is hooked up to that, but if they aren't, tell us about Code Red and how that works.
Code Red is an emergency alert notification system. A lot of people that are signed up to Code Red, they get automatic notifications for weather events and things of that nature. We send out notifications for road closures if they're going to be closed for a long period of time, or any type of emergent event. And a lot of times we send out general information. If there's someone, a missing person, or the sheriff's department's looking for someone for whatever, if they've had a break-in and they're looking for a suspect in a general area, that information can be sent out to Code Red, and it notifies people, and it involves the citizens to help locate these people. And we have had many successful locates with wanted people or lost citizens through the Code Red activations.
Mm-hmm. How do we, if someone's listening and needs to get in on that, how do we do that?
They can go to the Rockingham County webpage, www.myrockingham.com, and there's a link on there to Code Red, and it links you. Just follow those links, and it sends you right into Code Red, and will assist you and prompt you in how to sign up for Code Red.
Great. Okay. We all need to be a part of that. I wanted you to give us some comments on that special recognition that you were involved in at County Commissioners meeting this past Monday night, please, Rodney.
Yes, we had a very tragic accident Good Friday, which was April 10th, on US 220. We had a vehicle travel southbound in the northbound lanes, and as a result, there was a head-on collision. One of the vehicles burst into flames, and as some of the people were stopping, we had 3 citizens get out of their vehicles. They observed the fire, and they knew that the people had to be extricated from the car. So we had 3 people. One gentleman got out of a dump truck, and he grabbed the fire extinguisher from his dump truck, and he began to suppress the fire, while the other 2 gentlemen were able to get hold of the occupants of the vehicle and get them out of the burning vehicle. So there again, they had a team effort, which is what we've talked about earlier. Emergency services is a team effort, but even from the citizen perspective, they had their team. They had 1 suppressing fire and 2 removing people, and they removed 2 people from a burning vehicle, of which they otherwise would not have been removed, and it would have been a much more tragic situation than it already was.
My goodness. Right place, right time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple of minutes remaining. What are some things that you'd like to share with us as we finish up, Rodney?
We, as we enter into, the hurricane season, we don't think a lot about hurricanes in this area, but we have seen in the past couple of years that we certainly can be impacted by the effects of a hurricane, though they make landfall at the coast. Those strong storms can still produce lots of rain, lots of wind. They can spawn tornadoes, all of those things which then, come back into our area. Certainly the track of a storm is important. Those storms that come in far south, right at the North Carolina-South Carolina line, Myrtle Beach, in the edge of South Carolina and track up through Charlotte and continue to make their northward and northwest turn or northeast turn, a lot of times it brings those storms right through here. So we need to be mindful of storm preparations, 72-hour kits, medications, how do we access cash? Should we have teller machines and power outages where you can't get the teller machine? Fuel for our vehicles, food for our family members, and water. Shelter operations. With COVID-19, we're currently in discussions with our Health and Human Service partners, with the county and with Red Cross, about how do you set up shelters during a pandemic, and that's another hurdle that we're crossing at this time. So I would say right now, be prepared for the upcoming storm season. It's forecast that it will be a busy season. Mm-hmm. COVID-19 continues to be a problem. Continue to adhere to the messages that are put out by the state and through Health and Human Services. Though we're into this pandemic for 3 or 4 months now, complacency begins to set in for everybody, for responders, for citizens, for everyone involved. But it's still a very active virus, and a virus that we need to pay very close attention to so that we don't enhance the spread of it, if we can stop that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, these are challenging times for all of us, aren't they?
They are, very.
Yeah.
And these are times that many have not seen.
Yeah. And you're right. I can think of how we have been impacted by the hurricanes over the years, and we're in hurricane season now, starting June 1, goes through November, I believe. So, yeah, we need to be prepared for that. Okay. Rodney, it's great to have you on the program. Thank you. This will kind of get us started here in a monthly segment that you and I will be doing the first Wednesday of the month. So we'll get into that next month for sure. Rodney Cates, thank you, sir. You and your team for being there for us here in Rockingham County. I certainly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Have a good week, sir.
Yes.
Rodney Cates is Director of Rockingham County Emergency Services, and I hope you are listening closely there. EMS, Fire Marshal, Emergency Management, Consolidated 911, all falls under Rockingham County Emergency Services. You can get more information and sign up for Code RED at myrockinghamcountync.com.